Hey everybody, it's Mike at Growtopia, and I just finished repotting my window plants. Okay, so what we got growing on in this video today is we are actually going to be checking up on what we have. Basically, I got a lot of stuff that took off, a lot of stuff that didn't take off. I'm going to close you up for now because I don't need it. Second, I had that next to me because that watering can, that is strong. But anyway, so let's get to what we got in trays and who's going where. So, take out the book. Always make sure I grab the Bible before I start doing anything plant related, because I keep track of everything, the movement of it, so and so forth. It's a very, very good way of staying organized. It's also something that everybody should be doing because it really helps out so much. So let's grab our first tray. See what's going on. Some of them are getting transplanted to the windowsill and other ones are being put somewhere else. So as you guys can see here, I got from the last time around we looked at these guys here. These over here are my Taylor beans. They're red and a white bean. And then these are the dragon tongue beans. Now what's really interesting is that both of them in the middle, nothing happened, which is like really funny. Next is we have the broccoli, and then for some oddball reason, the thyme that I had, my thyme just died out. But my oregano is still doing fine. That's in the back over here. So my oregano is getting transplanted. My broccoli is going to get transplanted. My beans are going to get transplanted, and any of these pods that have no life in them are getting taken off, and then they're getting put into the storage shelf over there. I got like freaking little gnats and stuff flying around my head right now. For some weird reason. That one's very natty. Natty. Alright, let's see. A place to stick my thermometer. So that's our current status of these guys here. So for the transferring them from basically the tray to the pods, I'm basically just gonna write them down on here that as the greenhouse zone. Yeah, I'm just gonna take them from where they are, and then they're gonna go in the window. Now these guys here, these aren't going to go in the windows. These ones are actually going to get put into one of these planters that I have. So they're actually going to go into a planter, and they're actually going to stay on the shelf themselves. Basically is because it's a bean, it's going to grow up. I want it to grow up from the bottom shelf up. So I'm going to have it put on there that's on a tray. It's going to be on it's going from level 12 to level 13, so it can actually grow up through the stand. So I'll stick you off to the side for now. Now, like I had said before, you could see like with this one here, this whole tray, basically everything went into, just stopped. Nothing at all took off from here. Had like one lettuce that looks like it tried to take off but stopped. The turnips didn't do anything. The spinaches, they're just getting moldy on top. Swiss chard went up, went down. And this was basically what was left over from the batches of other stuff that took off. So this tray, I'm just going to leave the tags in it as is. And I'm just going to stick it over in the rack where stuff goes that didn't grow, because it's just about into the middle of October, and whatever's not growing has to grow, has to go, Alright, but on the other note of good things, we got some of the yellow plum tomatoes that you see that are right here that are growing. Those were seeds. My catnip finally came up. I saw them last night, so I just got to update the book. And then I got my dill over here. My dill's looking really nice. My dill is going to actually get put into a little container. and then that's going to go sit on the windowsill. So actually, we actually had some good positives that actually came out of a tray of negatives. So we're going to start off with the first tray. Now, one of the few things I have is I'm going to put down here. So let's keep track of this, right? So the catnip transplant date is going to be 10/19/24. Zone is cat bowl. So that the cat stuff is going to be now transferred to where the cats are going to be. So it's 10/19/24 cat bowl, catnip. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I did put the catnip on here. I lied to you. I lied. So 10/11, 10/12, 10/16, and 10/19. Took 4 of them to come up at different times. State, zone, planting zone. Okay, so it's 10/19/24. And actually, what's really funny, it's 10/19 for the grass, and the 10/19, and it's actually able to get harvested. So I'm actually just going to write 10/19. So that was actually on point for the grass and barley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the catnip out, like such. I'm going to get rid of I'm going to do that one first right now because that's going to be a big job. So I get that one out. Yellow plum tomatoes are going on the windowsill. The spinach, the radishes here that didn't grow, they're going to go over there. The dill's going on the windowsill. And that's it. So what I got is a tray. I got a fresh container here with really nice fresh soil in it. I want to start off nice and fresh with this. Grab this. Get rid of the book. Move the book for now. Doesn't need to be in the way. Grab my smell remover. Grab my stinky water. Alright. Now we're going to see how well the grass and the catnip grows without being in direct sunlight. Hopefully it shouldn't make that much of a difference, but we'll find out. Oh boy. Yeah. All the bags in here, all the material that's going to get all rot itself down in the soil. That's right, sometimes I can barely go more than 10 minutes without making another mess. Alright, that looks nice. I'm going to take my catnip and I want to take it out of its bag. Stick it right in the corner. Oh, Matt. What at me? Chatterbox. The reason why I didn't fill it full of soil is because I'm putting the bags in at the height that the bag bowls are, right? And then I'll backfill it with soil. Okay. Put the tags in there just in case anything else grows. I know what's in here, but okay. Grabbing one of the other trays I had. Okay, this one's got the barley that's in it. So this has got barley. Take out the barley bags. Hey, really, you're trying to run off their pal. Oh man, this water stinks. It's right by my head. Kind of a little droopy right now because they weren't getting really good water in the way that that little watering issue this week, or getting to watering I should say. Not too much working too late at night, didn't really get into kind of back to the plants when I needed to. But fix that issue real fast. Next one. That stuff will perk right back up, so I'm not worried about it. Need all the tags, so I'm just gonna do that. I got some runaways here. I mean, it's a grass, it should spread. That's the idea of it. So hopefully it spreads to the inside of the fullness of this container. Hopefully. That's the idea, right? Actually get it to spread to the inside of it. Like this soil is like so hard packed because this was a lot of the outside soil. So unfortunately this mix of outside soil and stuff is actually really more compact than it should be. So that's it with that. Let's get rid of this shit here. Alright. That's it with that. Just going to water it in. And that's it. It's getting put out to where it has to go. I'm just going to sit. Alright, so now we're done with that. Put this off to the side. So we got what's left of this tray here. I'm recording, by the way. In case you didn't realize when Amy started yelling at you for talking in the hallway. Anyway, so like I said, this is going to go on the tray. Or actually up over there, I should say. So let's actually take some of the soil out here. Soil's fine, just really hard and compact. Like I said, I had some watering issues with stuff, so but it's overall still good soil. There's nothing wrong with it. So I got the tailors that are here, and I got the dragons. Thank you. So I got the tailors that are here. So I'm just going to take them out of their bag, like I've been doing with everything else. You see like the nice root system that's on them. And because I'm going to be growing them on the heating mat, and they're not going anywhere else, I'm just going to plant them nice and straight. Nice and straight in a row, because that's where they're going to be sitting. There. I'm going to want them to grow straight up through the rack over here. So as they grow straight up, that's going to be their best bet. Put their tag for them right next to them. Get out of my nose. Okay. It's this one. Gives me a good time to get them nice and straight. It's better if they're straight. You don't want them crooked. Taylor, Tim Taylor, Taylor the Toolman. We got our dragon tongues next. See the root system on this one. Very nice root system on it. That's it, folks. Dragon tongues are done. They're getting put down onto the bottom tray so that they can grow up nice and strong. And we're going to try to grow dragon tongues and Taylor beans throughout the winter in the nursery. Okay. Look at that. Nice, right? Okay. Cool. Coolio. Coolio, coolio, coolio. want to go back to your book choice. So I got my dragon tongue and my tailor. So the other two pods didn't germinate. They're going to go over there. So being that it's not greenhouse, I'm running them indoors. Their estimated harvest date is January 7th of 2025. So I transfer them to so what is today, 10 19 24. There's two of them. 10 19 24, two of them. Zone is 13 tray. 13 tray. So zoners are on the 13th shelf, and they're in the tray plant, or whatever you want to call it. I've been calling them trays for whatever oddball reason. And then transplant date and zone date would be if I was to put them outside, or if I move them somewhere else. So that is that. That's that. Now we're going to move on to the next one. That's also going to be on that same level as well. And I actually ended up getting one that germinated today. So not only am I going to be writing down that it's being transferred into here, but I'm also going to be putting down that it germinated. That I saw it early this morning, and it's gotten bigger since. So I'll grab that tray right now. Okay, so this tray here has got a lot of stuff growing in it. And one of the things you guys can see right now that are really big, those are my pumpkins. And then I got my pumpkins, I got my kohlrabies, I got my cauliflower, and then I got my Brussels sprouts. Which might end up outside. I don't know. I'm really actually trying to grow a lot of stuff indoors and keep it indoors. So it's definitely been an experimenting day for me. Or not day, but experimenting event. So yeah, I got one of the pumpkins just started to come out of the ground. So that's going into one of these red trays to begin with. And because the pumpkins are going to grow out and then down, I can actually put all 6 of them in here. I don't have to worry about like issues with room and stuff. And they're going to stay actually on shelf 13, but they're just going in there. So take them out. Emmy. So chatty this morning. Every time I start like filming a video, she has to start talking in the background. She's like, "You don't understand. He's got soil everywhere. The place smells funky. He spills water all the time. Never cleans it up." Oh, this one. That one's getting ready to move out. And all these that are in here that you're looking at, they're all going to get windowsilled. It's kind of interesting how how all 3 of them have the same leaf on them. And they all came from different bags. And they were carefully planted. It's really strange. I wonder if something happened somehow. I don't know. I find it very bizarre how they all have all 9 of them have the same leaf, and it's Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, kohlrabi. anyway. So these guys are going to get transplanted. I'm going to be doing that off camera. The last one I got here, I want to show you guys tray-wise. These are my Scotch bonnets that are growing. And basically with the Scotch bonnets, these peppers, is you basically want to, once they sprout out of the ground, so basically you start these off on a heat mat, and then once they sprout, I only water these things once a week, so I just fill the tray up with water, and they do fine. Just like that, fill it right up, and then put it back, because it will actually seep down slowly into the tray. So basically what I did with the Scotch bonnets is that once they germinated, you basically want to leave the dome on them. You want to make sure that they stay a little moist. You leave the dome on top, no light, on a heat mat at like 80, I think it's 80 degrees, 84 degrees. So they're on a heat mat by themselves. Once they germinate, you want to take the cover off, and then you put the grow light on, and then you just run it as is. What? Yeah, hello. So, that's what I did for that, and that's growing good. So, all right, on to our pumpkins. Soil here. I'm gonna actually need to get, luckily I got the soil in the garage. I have to run outside, but I'm gonna need to get more soil before I do anything else majorly. But I can keep them in the bags. I've just been liking taking them out of the bags because it seems like every time I do that, things seem to be better off for the plants when they're staying indoors, because then they don't seem like they can dry out that easily. Even though I really haven't had drying out plant issues, it just seems like things work so much better when I do it this way versus different ways. Now I'm almost thinking of actually sticking like all 6 of them in a row instead of like crossing each other, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do that. Because the way that I want them to grow, I want them to fall over the side of this thing. So yeah, I'm only putting them on one side, and then they can share the whole planter together. If I want to throw anything on the back side of this planter, like basil or something like that, I could do so. Actually, I might just throw something in the back of this planter while I have it, you know, usage of wise, because I'm going to have the pumpkins go that way, fall down and over, so I can plant them actually really close to one another. I could do that too with the other one over there with the dragon tongue beans. I can stick something probably small in it. No? Emmy. I think she just called me an asshole. Asshole. Not. Oh. Hello. Emmy. Alright, so yeah, I'm liking that right there, because then they're going to fall over nicely. Like such. Oh, the hell. I have one more. That's my last one. Stick this guy in the middle. Yeah. Pumpkins like heat, so I can actually start. So with the trays now, right? So obviously, pumpkins actually thrive very good in the summer heat. So anything like up in the 80s. So basically, one of the things you could play around with the heat mats is actually having controlling your environment. So instead of being stuck at certain, did you just say how? Anyway, I'll lose that. One of the things you could do with it is you could change the temperature up and down. So right now everything's like in the 70s, so it's kind of like early spring that stuff is basically sitting at. And then I'm going to now change the temperature, raise it up a bit to like about 80, 81, 82. And what that's going to do is it's going to mimic the temperatures that it would be out in like June, going into July, August. And I could run that for 3 months at those temperatures. Plus, once we get into the winter time and we turn on our oil heat, then the room is going to be a lot warmer. So it's going to also simulate those summer temperatures. I don't know what got in my nose. That's bugging me. Okay, I'm looking for my brain. I left it somewhere. So these yellow plums are going to be a big tall tomato plant, right? So I'm going to put the yellow plums in here because the plums are going to grow very similar to like the dragon tongue beans, because it's the tomatoes, because they're going to grow up. So I'm actually going to stick them here in the back side. So remember how I had talked about planting depth? Well, here's a perfect time, and see how you could separate your plants. So never cut them. You could separate them early, okay? Because look, they have little tiny roots on them. People are driving me nuts. Between the ones who trim your plants when you shouldn't and the ones who cut them back and then start growing more plants, and they're like, okay, I had to trim back 5 of my tomato plants, thin them out as they call it, and you know, then I'm going to start new seeds. So I just took 4 of them and I separated them over here, and I'm planting them in different spots in this tray, planting them deep. So they can grow. So a lot of things you people can do really the right way. I'm going to grab you and show you. Look at this. See? Tomato, tomato, tomato. From one tomato plant. From one bag of seeds. So here's another one. Alright, as I carefully remove it. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing again. You guys watch me. Okay, what I'm going to do is basically I get it as small as I can and I slowly squeeze it. Okay, I'm just roughing it up lightly, separating the seeds, separating the tomato plants. And then I stick my finger in the soil. Okay, and now I drop my tomato plant into the soil and make sure that the leaf is above, so it's not too low. That's a lot of tomato plants right here. If you guys are counting how many yellow plum plants I got so far, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7 and 8. It's a lot of plants in this small little spot. Not all of them are going to stay in this spot. This is just where they're going to be for the time being, and then they move on to where they're going to go. Stick that back here. She's watching every time I drop soil on the ground. I just dropped some soil on the ground. She just looked over at me. Like, really, Mike? I wasn't trying. I promise. Just like a bunch of them together in a little cluster. So I'm gonna stick them right there. There's another bunch of them. Bunches and bunches. That one down there. You could also lay them down on the soil too. So another thing that people do too, if you're kind of having like issues and you're a little afraid of like hurting them, you could literally lay them down flat like such, okay, and then you can plant them like that, and then they'll curl up. It works that way too. You can do it either way. It doesn't really matter. Tomatoes are a very resilient plant. You can really do a lot to them. So I got a few of them right now that are actually literally just planted on their sides, and they will grow up to a normal tomato plant. The only thing is though, is that they do take a little longer when you do that, but no harm, no foul. You didn't see that. The table moved. Of course, it's not. You got to remember too, when you're trying to simulate an environment that these would be in if they weren't inside. A few of the issues that you do run into is, for starters, it's not 80 degrees at night, so you got to find that nice little equilibrium of temperature. But also, what happens with everything that you're growing is the temperature doesn't stay at a steady 80 degrees. So it hits 80 degrees. The temperature then goes down on the thermometer, goes down in here, and then the thermometer kicks on again and then reheats it up to that temperature. Now, if you're noticing that you're having some struggling issues with your plants not staying, or your trays not staying at the temperature you need them to be at, you might have to get a little creative, because you also don't want to spend too much money on electric trying to keep stuff warm. So you might have to kind of lower the temperature, maybe try to put it where there's more sunlight. You might have to get a little creative to try to keep it warmer. You might have to put like a little bit of a blanket around it. If you really don't do any of that, the only thing that's going to happen is that it's just going to take longer for stuff to grow. And if you're not in a rush, it doesn't matter. These pumpkins take 100 days from germination to harvest. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I know next season I'm going to be starting my pumpkins, depending on how these ones turn out. I'm going to be starting them in May, so that by October I can have pumpkins. And I actually want to make pumpkin bread from scratch using pumpkins, flour, and eggs. That's it. No other ingredients. Maybe olive oil, maybe salt. That's it. Other than that, no baking powder, no baking soda, no yeast, none of that shit. Do it the nice, clean, and healthy way. Okay. Thermometer. Sticking my thermometer in. So currently I just set it at 90 degrees. I have it set currently at 90 degrees in there to simulate a heat wave. Today's Saturday. I'm going to run 90 degrees today and tomorrow. Monday, before I go to work on Monday, I'm going to knock it down to 80 degrees, 85 for the week. I'll probably run it at 85 for the week. Tomorrow, I'm going to change the lights on it. They're running on a 12-hour period. I'm then going to switch them into a 16-hour period to give it more lights. So now it can go into thinking it's going through almost like a summer. There's going to be longer lighting on it than 12 hours. Other than that, guys, I have to update the book because I put the tomatoes in there. I mean, yeah, I put the tomatoes in there with the pumpkins. And I've lost my pen. There it is. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I know it was a really long and lengthy one. I hope you guys stayed for the end of this video. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. Get out there and grow something. Comment below. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Saturday. And I hope you guys got something out of this and you enjoyed it as well. See you guys in the next video. Later.